Hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout Wasteland Warfare Settlement Mode playthrough. We're already up to episode 4 of season 3, that's a third of the way through the season, but to put it in a better way I guess, it's still 2 months worth of episodes left to go. And we ended last time with, if I check my notes here, 713 caps to our name, and it was a pretty contested vote this time. At time of recording, there was 9 votes to second place and 14 to what did win. So it was pretty close, and again, please try and remember to get your votes in within the first 48 hours of the video going live for it to count towards the final tally. So 14 to 9 means that we are getting ourselves a reprogrammed, damaged / battered Protectron for the settlement, which costs 300 caps, meaning that prior to beginning our quest today we have 413 in the kitty, and we'll see how much we have afterwards. We are going to do our explore cards and whatnot, and this is also what the current inventory looks like, but thanks to that armory we can now hold 8 items in New Hope. Still can only bring 5, but we can hold 8, and that's a pretty substantial improvement, honestly. So let's quickly do our 1 food card, which is what this deck is. It's separate from the Wasteland deck I use for items and stuff. This is purely just food cards. Just give it a quick shuffle. We'll split it there and say we've added. That is a helmet. That should not be in. Did I pick the wrong deck by accident? I picked the wrong deck by accident. This isn't the food deck at all. This is the Wasteland deck. I'm so sorry. Well, I haven't got it looked out, so we'll need to do that at the start of the game. Let's just go to our explore cards. Oh, there's some food in there as well, and I guess I saw the food on the bottom of the pile and was like, yeah, that's probably the right deck. First explore card. We're allowed to reroll 1 thanks to our settlement upgrades. Why do we always get Silver Peak Mine? Every time. No, I'm re-rolling it. I'm not getting another set of free power armor. That's cheating at that point. I don't know why we keep drawing that card. Fire station. In the equipment lockers under some debris you find an unopened tube of fire retardant well past its expiry date. At the start of the next battle you may select one model to be immune to fire for the battle. Consequence, ironically, the salve starts to burn the skin. Model is perception -1 for the remainder of the battle due to the distraction. Perception in most cases is tied to their ability to shoot, and my team does not need any additional help missing their shots, so we're not going to take the immunity to fire, because it's also not going to be relevant with what they use, so we'll just ignore that one. Not a reroll, we're just not taking the effect. Scorched Earth. An Enclave patrol in power armor is burning a farm to the ground with their incinerators, and the inhabitants flee. Either aid the fleeing to escape. During the settlement phase, build 1 structure worth 100 caps or less, or aid the Enclave to gain custom ammo item as thanks. I will aid the people fleeing, but I'll just add 100 to our kitty, so that puts us at 513. And with that, well, we'll do the food deployment. We need to decide what we're bringing into battle today. I definitely want the sturdy metal armor. I want that laser rifle. I want that laser pistol because of what we'll be fighting, which makes it a pretty tough choice with everything that's left. I'm going to bring the kebab so we have a heal, I think. But that only leaves us space for 1 more. We do have that new incendiary baton as well, but I'm not bringing the scavenger this time. I'm trying to give the enslaved tech a chance, and he needs that armor. I could bring some power armor again. It doesn't go wrong. But, you know what, let's try and do it without power armor this time. Let's go with... You know, the Hunter's Hunting Rifle will be an advantage here. There we go. So that leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're fine. All that in storage this time. We'll take these. I'll still draw 1 more food item which goes into this pile, and we still have room for that as well. And so our last bit of preamble before we see what we're doing today. Here is the correct deck, not that lying deck I grabbed by accident. So let's see what our farm is providing today. It is some mutant hound meat. That's disgusting. Okay, well that's going to go into the pool waiting for us at New Hope. Hope I'm not the one that has to eat it. And for the weapons we're bringing, the settler will be getting the Hunter's Hunting Rifle that we're bringing along. The Sole Survivor is going to take the Gecko Kebab so he has a heal on himself, just because he's the hardest hitter in close combat we have. The Laser Rifle is going to go to the Sole Survivor as well, I think. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Yeah. He's getting the laser rifle as well. The laser pistol is going to the enslaved tech, so he's leaving his shotgun at home for once. And the free tech, which is here. And he's also going to get the metal armor, so he's a bit sturdier as well. The laser pistol will hopefully help him land hits because it's got that green dye thrown in. So that's what they're bringing. They'll be deploying in the usual corner, most likely. But let's hear what we're doing today. Quest name, Beware the Scorpions. A win will result in 200 caps, a loss will result in 120 caps. Quest overview. A wounded traveller with cuts all over his body claimed he was attacked by the Scorpions. It was impossible to get a straight answer out of him as to whether he meant some group of raiders or rad scorpions, and his injuries were just as consistent with giant pincers as they were with a giant machete. It's time to send a group out to investigate. So you've just heard what we're doing today, and today's going to be a bit more of a straightforward brawl to the finish, although there is a lot of opportunities for looting if I'm willing to push forwards with my team. And to answer the question posed by the injured person who came to New Hope, was it a group of raiders called the Scorpions? Was it rad scorpions? The answer is both. So it appears there's a creature controller at play here. One thing I did forget to mention in setup once again was which weapons Pennyworth is being equipped with this time, and he has 3 to pick from, or rather he can pick 3 of his 4. He's taking the Flamer again, he's taking the Buzzsaw again, but he is trying out the Mr. Handy Laser this time. And you might have noticed I was going very heavy on the energy weapons. That's because it does very well against rad scorpions. And our adversaries, on that note, there is a rad scorpion over here. There is 3 raiders here, 1 psycho and 2, what are they classed as again? Raider outlaws, I believe. Yeah, the raider outlaws have pipe pistols and machetes, and the psycho has just a lead pipe and a death wish. And there is another rad scorpion right down here, and we know from previous efforts rad scorpions can be pretty annoying to take down if you don't have energy weapons, hence being thankful that we have some. However, our goal is just wipe them out in 5 turns. The items on the level are all kind of congregating in the middle here, so I can't just stand and shoot, there's one down there as well, if I want to actually get some loot. So there's a reason to go forwards. Also, one special rule is that the scorpions are not going to mindlessly charge forwards into the open and get shot. They are going to engage only once I am close enough that a charge distance will be completed. I think their charge distance is, yeah, it's blue, so that's like 8 inches, 10 inches, something like that. Just grab it over here for you, like that. So as soon as there is a threat in that radius, they have the chance to activate and will be in the activation pool for the enemy AI. So they're kind of guarding, they're being more coy about it. Also basically guarantees that close combat is going to happen. Because of being so in the top right corner of the table there, I've deployed my team in red a little bit rather than yellow, just to give them that extra push, because we want to, not spend 2 turns running forwards. So with that, I think we are ready to get started and put an end to these raiders with their creature helpers. And they will be going first though, but again, the rad scorpions will not activate until they have an opportunity to charge. So of the 3 raiders in the camp, it was the one closest to the southern exit here that activated first. However, rather than blindly charge in to be shot to death, he seems to be exhibiting a certain degree of tactics. He moved forward his yellow speed and then down here again, so that he is kind of backed up by the rad scorpion behind him, and is also in cover, kind of waiting for my team to come forwards. If he had a third action, he would have also done a prepare, and he's also sort of guarding that item right there too. Well, the raiders aren't the only ones who can play coy. I'm activating Pennyworth. He is moving up 1 movement ruler, so 1 red ruler, and then he's going to take a prepare, so that hopefully he can crack a shot off with that laser, well, I was going to say laser rifle, Mr. Handy Laser, if someone gets into range. Well, normally Raider Psychos have an utter disregard for their own safety and the safety of others for that matter, but this Raider Psycho is again acting a little bit coy. Charging forwards though, they move red distance, so they're very fast. He ended that action behind that rock there. Pennyworth does not have eyes on his base at all, so we're not saying he can take that shot with the prepare. And he's doing another run, but he's running from cover to cover. So when he completes his second action, which is to come down here, Pennyworth still can't see him. So he is not going to get to use that prepare. Alright, it's finally time to roll some dice. I'm activating John. He's moving up 1 yellow length, and then he's going to take a shot at that Raider Psycho because he's got clear line of sight there. The blue ruler was just to make sure that the Rad Scorpion would not be in range, and it isn't. John has range blue on his 44, and that does make it. So he is getting 2 yellow dice thrown in as standard because it only has the blue range, and his speciality means he's hitting on 6s. And now the first crit fail of the match, hopefully the only crit fail of the match for my team, but the shot goes wide, misses him entirely. Well, that left 1 raider to activate, one of the raider outlaws. They only move yellow, it's only the Psycho that moves red, well, and the Rad Scorpions. So he moved and then did kind of like just a third of a move to get into position there behind the cover. Obviously not enough actions to prepare or anything like that. But just checking Pennyworth's awareness distance, he can't activate on the move finishing behind cover there. So he will not be using it up. And that technically is all the AI activations unless one of the Rad Scorpion's triggers happen. And that will only happen if we start really getting in there to go try and grab the loot. So it's just over to my team until something changes. I think the free tech's going to go support Jonathan a little bit. Moved up there, still within range blue, which is what the laser pistol has as well, to take a shot at the outlaw. Only hitting on 3s, but hopefully this green die will help, as opposed to the 2 black die he normally has on his shotgun. And that's a 5 that comes down to a 3. I'm double checking I'm right, it's not a 2. Yeah, he did actually land a hit, that's amazing. Now the bottle cap does nothing. Laser pistol is just flat 2 damage. So it's 2 damage versus the Raider Outlaw's 1 energy defense. Why am I rolling that? That's not an armor die. He did block 1 and took 1 damage. The first person to land a hit this match was the free tech. That's unheard of, but there we go. The outlaw has 4 HP, kind of standard human health, so 3 left. With all that tasty loot waiting for us over at the Raider encampment, I'm not just going to sit in this corner and take shots, which does mean we're going to have to face the Rad Scorpions. So I activated the Soul Survivor, I've moved them up twice, and that does put him within range blue of the Rad Scorpion. Now that's his turn over, obviously, so at this point we might as well just do the Rad Scorpion activation because there's no other activations for the AI. It is initiating a charge, its charge range is blue, hence the rule. So it's going to pop out the ground here, engaged. It doesn't need line of sight to do a charge, it has that burrow rule that mole rats have and whatnot. But with him completing that prior to him attacking, Pennyworth can do his shot. So we're actually going to have to roll for his shot first. The laser pistol is a blue and a green, the handy laser is a blue and a green, and he is technically shooting into combat, so I guess it would balance out the negative to doing a prepared shot. So it just comes down to his base roll, which is a 7. He might hit the Soul Survivor, of course. Well, he crits, so it's hitting. It's just the 2 standard damage. So as always, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1s and 3s are the Rad Scorpion. He is hitting the Rad Scorpion. So that is 2 energy damage versus their 2 energy armor. He blocked 1, took 1, and as a reminder, Rad Scorpions unfortunately have 6 HP. And they have really big pincers that like cutting things. And on that note, his second action, if he rolls a 0, it's a black die for the charge bonus. Of course it is. Okay, so black die for the charge bonus, 2 yellow dice, plus a blue die for his massive pincers and stinger, and he hits on a 6. That was on his strength of 6. Well, he hit, he broke 2 armor. Oh, this is a terrible start. If damage is done, it's also going to poison him. So that's 3 damage versus 3 armor. Oh, I forgot their super armor, so 3 plus 1. He actually fully blocked the damage. That is insane. And just as well, because I did not have anything to cure poison once again. Wow, that was lucky. So I have 2 activations left, and neither one of them are going to trigger the other Rad Scorpion, so we can kind of cover them both simultaneously. I feel like the Soul Survivor, thanks to having Grognak's sword, and then also Dogmeat helping him out, probably means that Rad Scorpion is not much of a threat, famous last words, but Pennyworth is there to help him out as well. So I'm going to move the Settler over here and have her try and help take out the Raider, the Psycho Outlaw, because then that means we can kind of slip in the left side here and potentially just start looting. So it's short range on the hunting rifle, and obviously he's not a creature, so no extra die thrown in. So it's just 2 yellow dice, hitting on a 6. Ah, and she missed. Well, never mind, let's just go straight to Dogmeat's turn, shall we? So obviously very much in distance, because that would touch his base, so he can very safely and comfortably initiate a charge. Oops, knocked Pennyworth a little bit. He still has his super armor. The Soul Survivors got used up by that attack just now. And it's a dog bite special, which would be yellow, green, blue. We're going to take an extra green for outnumbered bonus and a black die for charge bonus. We're going all in on hurting this Rad Scorpion with this cluster of dice right here, hitting on a 6. And that would be a crit fail. Well, you know, second crit fail of the match. Honestly, I feel like the last couple of videos the rolls have been going too well, so this is balancing it out karmically speaking. So that was it for the first turn of the game. Let's see what event is carrying us over into turn 2. Let's go for this one. Acidic air. Models cannot share items or use battle cry. Does not affect synths, robots, or people wearing power armor. We saw this last time. For the purposes of what we're doing here today, it essentially means nothing. So that is good. However, the battlefield is shifting in a different way as well. The Rad Scorpion right here burrows underground and pops up right over here, meaning that his threat distance is now a little bit closer, almost as if someone is influencing the battlefield and reacting to what's happening. And so when Battle Round 2 gets started, randomizing the AI, which one do you think it was? Of course it was that Rad Scorpion right there, of course it was. He is attacking the Sole Survivor twice with those pincers and Poison Stinger. That's what he's rolling. Let's see what he gets, and he is once again hitting on 6s. That's a crit. The stars don't do anything, it's purely if you get a bottle cap and only purely if damage gets through. But it's going to get through this time, thankfully no poison though. That shatters 2 of his armor, so he's down to 1 armor, so at most he can block 1, which that is. So he took 1 damage from that, right there, but he has a heal on him, so this isn't necessarily so bad as long as he gets the chance to use it. And then the second 7 does not come down at all, which is just as well because that would have been poisoned again. So he missed with his other one, good. Well, since we don't need to worry about that combat now because it's already been activated, or the threat has already been activated, I'm going to activate Jonathan down here, and he's going to try and take out that raider, because if he can, then I'm going to have the free tech just slip by with his faster movement speed. So that is 2 shots, and thanks to his speciality with the 44, it's on 6s. That's a 7 that does not come down. Oh, come on. Land a hit. 1 hit. Okay, well, he shattered all the armor, so the damage just goes straight through. So that is 2 damage. Unfortunately, thanks to that first shot missing though, he couldn't secure the kill. They've got 1 health left. Well, we're back over at the Raider camp because this Raider Outlaw here is going to stay where he is, and the only range on a pipe pistol is range black, and that means he can shoot into the combat here, and 2 out of 3 are enemies, so why not? So he is going to take shots, and thanks to him shooting into combat, his chance to hit goes up to a 6. And it's 2 black dice as well, so potentially a lot of damage. So first shot hitting on 6s. Well, that comes down to a 9, so no. At least the enemies can miss almost as well as my team can. The second hit, however, is... oh no. That's 4... actually, I think... is the pipe pistol base 1 damage? No, it is base... yeah, it is. So that's 3 damage. So... 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 and 4, a 2 and a 3. So unfortunately he is hitting dog meat for 3 damage against his 2 physical armor plus 1. Oh, he only blocks plus 1, so he took 2 damage. And that plus 1 is gone for the game. Okay, that's a little more damage than I was expecting from a pipe pistol of all things. But at least he took up 2 shots. Well, we're back down here, and I'm going to activate the Settler because I want her to finish off the Outlaw. The Psycho rather, and if she does, she'll move, but it might take both shots with how things have been going. Let's see, 6s, she hits, 2 straight up damage versus 1 armor, so 1 damage is getting through regardless, so it doesn't matter, although it wouldn't have blocked anything. So the Psycho is out of there, and that means we are free to move a little bit. So she has 1 action left. I am going to have her come around the side so that there's not any chance of her getting locked in combat. Right there. That's as far as she can get for now. But it does mean the free tech can start just gunning it out the table here. Well, seeing the good work the other pipe pistol did on the field, the other Raider Outlaw activated, moved out into the open, and is also shooting into this combat over here. With the pipe pistol, range black, and with the bonus hitting on the same as before. 8 is not good enough. Yeah, because it goes to 6. So thankfully they missed. So we're just over to my activations unless someone gets close enough to the suspiciously activating Scorpion. So I went with the free tech. He is my fastest runner besides Pennyworth. So moved up red twice and is looking to get in that left side of the base there, which is currently unguarded for all that tasty loot. So of course we've still got to handle the combat ongoing with the Rad Scorpion, but I'm doing my last movement activation first. Pennyworth, I'm going to have him follow the free tech. From where he was, he could get slightly further forwards. I have confidence, famous last words, I have confidence that these two are now going to take out that Scorpion, but let's see. Alright, this Scorpion has to go down, and we're going with the Soul Survivor first. Grognak's Sword, black die thrown in for his mighty 7 strength, and an extra green die for Dogmeat. Now joining him in Felonious Assault. Well, that's a hit, 3 ways from Sunday. Just remind myself, does Grognak's Sword have anything on the bottles? It does, a quick action, which might be relevant. So that's just 2 flat damage coming in against 3 physical armour. Blocked 1, took 1. So that's him up to 2 of his 6. A third of the way there. Was hoping for better, but he gets another actual action besides that quick action, and it's the same dice again. So let's see how it goes. A 7 comes down by enough. 1 armor break, so 2 damage versus 2 armor. Blocks 1, takes 1. I'm sensing a theme. Now with that quick action, he could do... Well, the sword gives him quick action, charge and move. That's not really relevant. He'll just take a prepare, I guess. So he gets another swing back later on. No need to heal or anything like that, so yeah, he's done. And it's to the best boy, Dogmeat, to end off the turn. So extra green die thrown in on the dog bite usual for outnumber bonus and hitting on 6s. 2 attempts, not likely to do enough damage either way. Although that said, we do have ourselves 3 damage versus 2 armor. He blocked 2 and took 1. Once again, I'm sensing a theme. Apparently I can do no more than 1 damage per attack against this thing. And then 1 more dog bite to take us to the end of the turn anyway. So 7 comes down to by 3 to a 4. So breaks 1 armor, 2 damage versus 2 armor. Blocks... Really? Blocks 1, takes 1. So that's him up to 5 at least. So we'll flip that over. He's on 5, he's got 1 health remaining. But yeah, apparently he can't take more than 1 damage a hit. It's just the law. So let's see what's taking us into turn 3. We will cut there, cut there, cut there. This one. Boom! A critical generator malfunction, corroded gas pump, whatever it is or was. The explosion sounds much closer than it really is. So thankfully, nothing. However, we do have ourselves another suspicious movement. The Rad Scorpion here burrows underground and pops up here, aka it's within range blue now, so it will be included in randomizing who activates in the next turn. So to get the third battle round started, the Raider Outlaw, that's being a little bit coy, activated and moved back towards the central area of their camp here, and then took a prepare action right where he was under cover of the table there, waiting for Pennyworth and the Free Tech to potentially come charging through that gate, because you can't see them right now because of the bookshelf there. Well, I think I'd like to take advantage of one of the Rad Scorpions not being randomly selected to activate for the AI to try and finish this one off. I'm going to go with the Soul Survivor, which means his prepare is wasted. That's fine. I just want to slice and dice him with all these lovely dice he's getting for the reasons mentioned in the previous turn on 7s. That's definitely a hit. Doesn't come down, well, it comes down to a 1. That's still 2 damage versus 3 armor though. He blocked none of it, took 2 and just died. That is perfect. Hadn't really planned out a second action because I was expecting it to take both, but that's 1 Rad Scorpion down at the very least. Should I move him? You know, he's more of a fighter. My looters are up there. Let's have him crack out that laser rifle. Range black, and then long range is black again. Ooh. He could hit either of them. But I guess the Raider is kind of blocking his shot. So the short range is black and blue on a laser rifle. So we're rolling that, get rid of this. And we'll have him hit the... I want him to hit the Rad Scorpion. I'm not sure if enemy model... I don't think enemy models count as getting in the way of themselves. Let's see if it matters with what I roll first of all. Well, that's crit success basically, so it does not matter, because even if it was a -2 debuff, we can still hit him. And the star does nothing. Unfortunately, we need bottle caps. But that's 3 damage versus 2 energy armor on a Rad Scorpion. He does block 2 and takes 1. Oh no, the curse is also in play on this one. He can only take 1 damage per turn. That quick action though, thanks to Grognak's Sword, we can do a quick action move. That would bring it down to orange. I don't have an orange marker handy. I'm just going to come forward, so it's like, the orange marker is 2 inches. So we'll just move him along there. Well, the other Raider Outlaw isn't being quite as coy as the one who's hiding behind the tables and chairs up there. He saw his opportunity to charge into the Soul Survivor based on where he finished that movement. Green charge distance more than enough. that he made it in, and seems to just really want to get in there, so he is, and he's swinging his machete, and randomly selected that he's taking a green die for his charge bonus, same way as before, just rolling a 50-50 die, and he's hitting on 4s, same as his chance to shoot at base. That would be another 10. You don't really see that many 10s, and that's 2 in one video so far, so swing and a miss. So I see an opportunity here for the settler to activate to move round the rocks and then take a long range shot with that hunter's hunting rifle, blue plus black, at the other rad scorpion while it's in the open, and getting that bonus from it being a creature, throwing in on top of the 2 green you get at long range, a black die for extra chance at damage, assuming she lands her hit. Well, she did land her hit. That is 3 damage against, thanks to that armor break, 2 armor, so she's doing at least 1. He didn't block any and took 3. That is more like it. So let's see, that is 4 damage of his 6. Finally, a decent hit landed. Well, it was time for the last activation for the AI this turn, which was the other rad scorpion, although we will have that prepare procking when I send someone in to start picking up that loot. Now, the blue distance ruler there is just for reference. From where he was, he could have charged Pennyworth, popped out the ground in front of him, maybe blocked him off. But the Soul Survivor was also in range, and for whatever reason, he seems to really want to murder the Soul Survivor. So he popped out next to him, randomly selected that he is taking a green die as a charge bonus on top of his normal pincer stings. Do not want the poison to get through because that'll be bad. Shouldn't say things before rolling. He got a crit. Though, no, the bottle caps mean, yeah, if he does damage, then poison goes through. But he's only doing base damage. So it's 2 damage versus 3 armor. Why am I rolling that die? 3 armor. He actually blocked all of it again. Oh, he is lucky today. No poison for you. Or, well, no poison for you from him. So we're just over to my activations, and as you can see, I just went with Jonathan and moved him up twice. But I totally forgot the Soul Survivor was outnumbered. So the Rad Scorpion should have had an extra green die thrown in. Now he landed his hits. So all that matters is whether or not you roll armor break or an extra damage. Because either one of those would mean 1 damage went through. So we'll just quickly roll that here. Nope, it was another bottle cap. He rolled like 3 bottle caps in that roll then. It mattered because if the armor break, it meant the armor roll would have failed, which would have meant 2 damage plus poison. Or if it had done 1 extra damage, that would have been 1 damage plus poison. So yeah, just to make sure it's all clear. So anyway, Jonathan has moved up there because I want to get to that loot. Even if we wipe everyone out prior to the end of turn 5, I still have until the end of turn 5 to try and grab stuff. Well, I'm going to try and clear up this mess with Dogmeat charged in, so now the combat is even, so no outnumber bonus on either side. I'm having him go after the Rad Scorpion, taking a black die for a charge bonus, because I want to remove that threat from the table. Let's see if we can manage it. He got a crit for 2 extra damage plus an armor break, so that is 4 damage versus 2 armor, so he's already done it, because 2 is enough to kill him. He did actually block 2, so he blocked the 2 bonus damage, essentially, but did take 2. I'm just double checking they do indeed have 6 health. They do. He managed to take himself, or bag himself, a Rad Scorpion. Hurrah! And he should technically have been touching him as well, but that's his turn. But he did good. So I have Pennyworth and the free tech left. Went with Pennyworth, he moved up, and now a few different things are going to happen. Upon completing that movement action, he is now going to be shot at. A quick reaction shot from the prepare by the surviving enemy up there. And then he's going to fire back with his Mr. Handy laser, and then when he ends his turn, the settler roll where he can flip a adjacent item for free will kick in, and we'll see what that is. Could be bad, not necessarily good. So anyway, this is the shot from the Raider Outlaw, and because it's a quick shot, it's down to 2s. Oh, it would have been a normal hit that landed, but no, he missed. So then we go to Pennyworth's shot with his Mr. Handy laser. The Mr. Handy laser is a yellow and a green die, hitting on 7s. And he did hit. That's a 6. No extra damage, so just 2 damage versus 1 energy, so at least he's doing at least 1. He actually did both, so that's half the Raider Outlaw's health gone. Oops, right there. And then he ends his turn. We flip this. It is an item, but it is also a danger card. So I have the item deck here, so we'll draw that now, and then I'll have to go look at the danger deck. And let's say we go like this, like this, like this, like this, make a mess. We have found ourselves some Nuka Cherry, another heal. Oh, that's fine, at least it's not mutant hound meat. Alright, let's see what that Nuka Cherry cost us. By the way, I know what you're thinking, did he draw that from the wrong deck? No, the Wasteland deck does also have food and drink in it. I double checked it, it was the right one. So anyway, danger card for Pennyworth. Let's go for, that one's quite bright, let's go for this. Shocking! A jolt of electricity zaps you. Add damage, no armor roll. Okay, I don't think Pennyworth would get damaged by that, but fair enough. That is just one flat damage. Could have been a lot worse though, to be fair. Alright, last activation of Battle Round 3 is the free tech. Moving up, next to the counter there with an aim on it, he's taking a point blank shot with his laser pistol we gave him for the round. And here's the dice he's rolling, and then he's going to flip die at him afterwards. Hitting up, well, a 10 again, comes down to an 8. Sadly, no, he misses. The raider ducks behind the counter there. What did he find though? He found just a straight up item, so that is good. We'll come back around here. I've still got the deck handy. Right, here to find more loot. This is what we came for. What did we find? A sledgehammer. Double kind of armor break dice, 2 flat damage. Okay, I mean Granite's sword is certainly better, but that's technically not ours. We'll lose it one day. So this might be a good alternative for the sole survivor. And it's time to see what's taking us into the penultimate turn. Let's split here and take this one. Low sun. A weak light drains the contrast from the surrounding areas. All perception skills are at -2, or sorry, I think that's investigate. Either way, we're not doing investigates. This is a very brain dead, just murder the things mission, so aka nothing. So as the second last round begins, it's certainly looking good for us getting a win, but the other goal is loot everything that isn't nailed down, so we still have to work on that one. And the enemies are still activating first. The outlaw down here is activating, and he is swinging his machete twice at the sole survivor, and he is needing 4s. And that would be crit. 2 damage versus 3 physical armor. He actually fully blocked. He's been doing so well with his armor rolls. Told you he didn't need power armor this time. And then the second swing of the machete. That's a crit fail. Things are finally looking up. Well, let's have Pennyworth clear the board for us, shall we? He's going to crack out the Mr. Handy Laser, try and do the 2 remaining health of the other Raider Outlaw now that we don't really have to worry about the one down the bottom of the board, and that'll mean the free tech can just run for loot. So, if he gets him with the first shot, actually, he could make it to that nearest loot with another movement. And now that I've said that, it will of course take both. 7 is good enough. I thought it was 6s. No, as a Mr. Gutsy, 7s is good enough. He broke 1 armor, meaning that they only have... Oh, they have 0 armor against energy attacks now, and he did 3 damage. So, he turns into a red puddle of dust, you know the one I mean, from the video games, on the floor. And that Raider Outlaw is out there, which means Pennyworth can use his other action to just do a move to get to here. And that means we can flip this with the ending of his turn. It is just another straight up item. I did mix in, again, as always, bad ones and good ones, so we just kind of got lucky there. So let's split the deck and say he has found... He found another set of T60 power armor. That's basically the best thing I put in the Wasteland deck. We found it fair and square, so okay, we found another set of power armor. Well, let's try and clear the board entirely, shall we? The sole survivor is going to go. It's just my activations, and he's going to try and swing, and he is hit. He broke all his armor, and only does 2 damage base though, unfortunately, so he is still very much alive. Did shatter everything he had protecting him though. So there's 2 damage. If we can see that again, that's the problem removed. It's a crit for 1 extra damage, 1 armor break. They have 2 physical armor, so he could still block the 1 extra damage, although I just realised that doesn't matter, he's still dead. He didn't block any of it. Smack. Grogneck's sword claims another victim. Uses up his entire turn though, so he's not getting over to any items. Let me try and plan out movements here, because there's only 2 items left on the board to snatch. 1 behind this, and then 1 up there. Alright, I had 4 activations left in total, so let's do that in 2 sets of 2, just because that means I can use the same movement rulers. So the Settler, I'm just moving up twice yellow range here. And Dogmeat, he didn't activate, didn't move the damage with him, apologies, there we go. So he has moved up red twice as well to kind of get between the 2 objectives. I think the Settler can make it here, he could probably make it to that one, but we also have Pennyworth right there. But we still have John and the free tech to move. And there we go for the 2 remaining moves. We have the free tech moving through the camp here, past Pennyworth just over here, and then Jonathan just moving up behind. We will do the usual end of turn stuff into the final turn, just on the off chance the event does something that matters, like for instance providing more loot, but then we'll just quickly jump to some more movements. So I hope it goes without saying, but obviously today is counting as a win, so we know for sure we're getting those 200 caps. Let's see what event is taking us into the final turn. Is Radio New Vegas, aka nothing again. We got very lucky with those today. So with that, into a very quick final turn. So for the very quick final turn, I have the cards I might have need for right here. It doesn't really matter who we do it with. The settler can get down to this one here with a double move to put her right next to that one, and the free tech can do a single move to get over here. So let's see what he's found first of all. Nothing but a danger card, of course, and nothing but scenery here. And then what's on this one? Literally nothing. Okay, so we just need to resolve a danger card to end off the game then. This could do some damage, I suppose. Let's see. Rigged mailbox. We've seen this one before. Either hold it shut whilst it attempts the trigger to gain stun, or test perception. You can wedge it closed. You know, it doesn't really matter which result we get to finish the game on. It's just a shame there wasn't another chance for an M. Although honestly, we found some good stuff. So as the dust settles and the settlers from New Hope start searching through the viscera of what remains of the raiders that they took out, they are confused to find no signs of a creature controller that had been manipulating the rad scorpions. And that is not the end of it, because there is a single skill die being rolled, and based on what this rolls, something is going to happen. Let's see what it rolls, and that counts as a 1, aka sort of a crit but not quite. Still a quick action. It counts as a success, which is not good for us, because that means that a single shot rings out. Thankfully, Dogmeat senses it in time that he pushes the sole survivor out the way to narrowly avoid being shot in the back of the head, but it still catches him in the shoulder and takes him out. Without any idea of where the shot came from, the settlers quickly grab their wounded friend and escape. And an ongoing consequence of that is that the sole survivor will not be able to join us next time while he recuperates from his wound. We have one last order of business. We have to decide what's coming back with us. The unique item does not take up a space, so it just comes down to all this. We can bring 5, and there is 7 things. Now obviously we do have more room for that back at the place, but we don't have room. We're definitely taking the T60, we're definitely taking the sturdy metal armor. I think the food's going to get left behind, to be honest, because the weapons are so useful. So yeah, the gecko kebab, the nuka cherry, I'm sorry, but I need the equipment. Those are going back. And that is going to conclude at this time. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. Please remember to go check out the community tab to be able to cast your vote for what you think New Hope should spend the next week building. Oh, and on that note, let me just quickly get the tally. We earned 200 caps for the win, so that takes us to 613, but we also got 100 caps for putting a stop to the Enclave burning farms down, so that's actually 300. So we've got 713 to pick from, and there will be some new unlocked options as well. So take a look at that, cast your vote, try and get it in within the first 48 hours of the video going live, and I'll see you in a week for the next, hopefully exciting part. Please do remember to leave a like, leave a comment, or if you want to go above and beyond, consider pressing the thanks button or becoming a channel member. It is all invested in the channel to keep on bringing this to you, and until next time, ta-ta for now.